This is the Callister Foy Show, and I am Callister Foy. Good night to my listeners in the USVA, the Caribbean, the US, Europe, Canada, Africa, worldwide. I know you see that I started a little different tonight. On the hot seat tonight, the topic is, you get exactly what you elect. I'll repeat it. You get exactly what you elect. So now I'm going to start some new music because it's high time the people of the Virgin Islands become fully active. These senators, the judicial branch and the executive branch, the governor, is playing the people of the Virgin Islands for fools again. But unfortunately, I have to be brutally honest. You, the people of the Virgin Islands, all of us, you get exactly what you elect. The biggest topic in the Virgin Islands today was these unwarranted raises for the governor, lieutenant governor, some commissioners, and on and on. While some rank and file, custodial workers, etc., haven't received a raise for over 17 years, and who receive raises get small raises, while retro is still owed, while the governor and the government is saying that we're in financial straits. A commission that they put together to propose raises for themselves try to ease one past us. So again, this is Callister Foy. This is the Callister Foy Show. This is the hot seat. Topic, January 7th, 2025, is you get exactly what you elect. We complain about everything. We complain about WAPA. We complain about the disrespect our misleaders give to us. We complain. Yet when we get the opportunity on election years to vote these people out of power, it seems we go right back and re-elect them. So you and I get exactly what we elect. $42,000 raise proposed for the governor. $40-something thousand raise proposed for the lieutenant governor. Tens of thousands of dollars raise for commissioners. And hidden inside the proposed raises is an additional $7,000 raise plus change for guess who? The supervisor of elections. Mind you, the supervisor of elections just received a raise from the board of elections to carry her salary to $120,000. So based on this proposal, she will get an additional $7,000 plus as a raise if this goes through. Now everybody has things to say about this. But what is funny to me is that some senators are crying foul. My people of the Virgin Islands, do not be fooled by these misleaders. The only senator I believe that they will try to pull a fast one on is Senator Alma Francis Heiliger. Because she knows that anything like that has to be told to the public, and she would blow the whistle. But that's about it. I think all of the other 14 senators know exactly what was going on. Nothing comes to the legislature. Nothing is done in commissions unless it is known by a select group of people. They show you plainly on Facebook that they just sit together, have dinner together, all branches of government, cozying up. Yet the legislative branch wants me to believe, and you the people of the Virgin Islands to believe, that they don't know nothing about this sneak, secret, allow the deadline to run out so that it becomes automatic raises. They give themselves a reward for winning the election and doing a bad job. Notice, you haven't heard the governor weigh in. You haven't heard the head of the judiciary weigh in. But you hear the president of the legislature saying he didn't know. Senator Kenneth Gittens saying he didn't know. But I ask this question, where are the other senators? I guess they are like Gene Ford. They feel that the $10,000 raise is warranted and they should make $95,000 a year for doing a bad job. The people of the Virgin Islands voted on November 5th, 2024 in a resounding fashion that our senators deserve another term. Well, how you feel now? Because we had the opportunity to remove them all and maybe leave Alma Heiliger in there, since she fighting for the people for so many terms. And I'm a straight shooter. You guys know this. Just in the podcast before, I asked a question, you know. The governor of the Virgin Islands, Albert Bryan, terminate the Attorney General, Dennis George, because he wasn't informed about a case. He wasn't kept in the loop. And so I asked the question, so that means he know everything about cases that are filed by the Attorney General. So are the senators of this 36 legislature now telling us that the governor of the Virgin Islands kept information from them, tried to papi show them, mama guide them into getting raises? something don't sound right. Normally when somebody play you for the fool, it's to your detriment, not to your benefit. And while the senators under these proposed raises would only get $10,000 increase, the governor would have get $42,000 increase. The lieutenant governor get $40-something thousand increase. Commissioners get big increases. And of course, they had to reward the gatekeeper, the supervisor of elections, with a pay increase, a salary increase. She just get a salary increase to $120,000. And now the proposed raises is proposing to give her a salary increase up to $127,000 and change for doing a horrendous job. Or did she? Is this a reward for the good job that you did to ensure the selection of the 36th legislature? Hey, Governor Albert Bryan says all he do is win. They don't talk, but you don't see how they don't win. They don't do what you want. And I keep telling you, the people of the Virgin Islands, that Governor Albert Bryan has the gift of gab. Well, a lot of people can talk, a lot of people can analyze, and a lot of people have started to realize that behind all that talk, maybe, and I'm going to use a common phrase in the Caribbean, scampishness. Scampishness. The commission put the report in the hands of the governor, emailed it also, copied to the head of the judiciary and to the president of the legislature. They ain't fooling me. These guys play the game like what the senators in Congress in the United States do. They try to sneak something past the people of the Virgin Islands in the dead of night or in the last act of the year. So again I say, you and I get exactly what we elect. Not who, what we elect. We elect persons who undermine the integrity of the election system. We elect persons who refuse to make payments to the government on time. We elect people who refuse to give reasonable raises to the least of the government employees. We elect people who would rather take the government's money and give it to themselves over the people of the Virgin Islands. We elect people who are all of self and none of thee. There is a common saying that the young people don't vote. The age bracket in the middle hardly vote. But the seniors vote in numbers. The electorate is top heavy with our seniors. So I say to the seniors, you get exactly what you elect. Instead of looking out for you as seniors, retirees, and ensure that you get your payments, they take raises for themselves. And I could tell you right now what the excuse is going to be. Oh, we didn't know. And they all pontificate. You know, they're going to look at all manner of things to see if it is lawful, to see if it is all right to be approved. Now, let me tell you, the people of the Virgin Islands, it is lawful to be approved. They know the system inside out. They knew that they had a 90-day window. A 90-day window to discuss it with the public, giving an input. You think they wanted the public to give an input? No, far from it. They don't want the public to even know. They were sure that they would have sneak it in and get it past the public because their solid voting base would have supported and drown out the rest of the naysayers who didn't vote for them. And so again, the super majority in the Virgin Islands will do what they want. Well, I said to you, it's time, high time, the people of the Virgin Islands become fully active. I fully believe it's time for civil disobedience. Do not let them con you into believing this is a one-off. This is what they've been doing for 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 16 years, 20 years, 24 years, 28 years, 32 years. This is all they've been doing, sneaking things past the people of the Virgin Islands and then coming with some lame-ass story to try to pacify the people while nothing changes and they get their raises and they operate as if they are untouchable, unstoppable, and above the law. I bet you $100. I'm going up more. I bet you $1,000 that the people of the Virgin Islands are being taken advantage of because they do not know much about the real system of government. In order for these raises to be processed, OMB had to be in the loop, finance had to be in the loop, personnel have to be in the loop, and then the executive branch, judicial branch, and legislative branch have to be on the same page for this thing to be moving so seamlessly and hidden. They're fooling me. They could fool who they want, but they're not fooling me. Because I know that no raise in the Virgin Islands happens without allocating the funds, ensuring the funds are there, transmitting the names of the people to get raises so that the NOPAs could be changed. And then the salary increases are applied. So when you hear them telling you, oh, we didn't know, we got to check, we need to verify and investigate, there's no investigation going on, that's just talk. The actions have been taken and they are in full motion. And whether or not they deserve the raises, that is not the point at this point. The fact that the three branches of government, after putting a commission together, and that commission produced the study and forwarded it to the three branches of government since August, and then they let the deadline run out to sneak it past the people of the Virgin Islands. The people of the Virgin Islands supposed to be in the streets. Civil disobedience. Shut down the government until they honor raises for the least among us. Until they honor the payments for the retirees. Until they honor those retro payments until they have respect for you, the voters, the people of the Virgin Islands. You have no say. You are the worker bees. They just have you there as cattle to get small pay while they take everything and give nothing to the Virgin Islands. Governor Brian ain't no fool. He ain't no fool. Kick it to 195,000 or 192,000, whatever the amount is. Because he going into retirement soon, and he's soon out of office. 2 years from now, he's gone. Into the twilight, enjoying big, big money. Everybody looking out for themselves, the people of the Virgin Islands. Who is going to be your voice? Who going to stand up for the people of the Virgin Islands? While you cry, 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 cry. That was the theme song I created. The people cry because they're fed up at the senators. They're fed up at the Epstein enablers. And look what happened. We voted in the very same senators, and they are working in full tandem with the Epstein enablers. You and I get exactly what we elect. It's a hard pill to swallow. But to the seniors, the people in the age group between 35 and 45, you elected the same people again. You get exactly what you elect. And so I'm begging you, don't be upset with the messenger, but take the message. We have crime, death, domestic violence, fires burning left, right, and center. Every now and again a house burned down. A mall burned down. Or rather a shopping center here and there. And we continue as if nothing is happening in the Virgin Islands. I hear a lot of people on the radio saying, oh, that couldn't happen in Puerto Rico, that couldn't happen in St. Kitts Nevis, that couldn't happen in St. Lucia, that couldn't happen in Dominica. The people of these countries don't play that. They would have been in the streets. They would have demanded answers, changes. Maybe true. But if you recall, the Virgin Islands is synonymous with fighting the power. Queen Mary must be rolling in her grave. That we, the people of the Virgin Islands, have become so stoic, so brutalized, that we have become inactive even to save our own lives. So I say it again, civil disobedience is the only way. And if you do not get the responses you decide you need, or the actions that you want, just as civil disobedience is your right, lawful civil disobedience, you use the laws of the Virgin Islands to remove these people who are taking all of us for fools. All of us for fools. One tight little group My people of the Virgin Islands, they are a part of a club, and rank and file of us are not in it. How can the commission propose raises for even the arms of government that's supposed to be holding the very government accountable for any corruption, any crimes, and you're giving them a raise too? And rightfully so, they deserve a raise. But it needs the commission to decide when they're going to get raises so that the governor has to sign up with them. Suppose the governor committing corruption and crimes. How can the Inspector General's office hold him accountable? And so this is why I say, my people of the Virgin Islands, do not be fooled by these senators, the governor, or the head of the judiciary. They all know what's going on. It appears that the people have decided this is wrong. You cannot get raises while we suffer. You cannot get such exorbitant raises when we know that you're doing crap. You cannot give yourself exorbitant raises as reward for election interference, as reward for election selection. You cannot give exorbitant raises to yourselves to chuck it in the face of the people of the Virgin Islands, the voters, and tell them, take that. You can't do me anything. And look, all the talk and the complaint, we in control, and we gonna give ourselves a benefit, a reward, and ain't nothing you could do about it. I could tell you what the people of the Virgin Islands could do. They could demand every senator, before they swear in, must disavow that $10,000 raise. Every commissioner of government who are supposed to get these raises must ensure that the rank and file, the people that work in the departments, get their raises and give them good raises before you get yours. That's leadership. So you want to tell me that all these people getting raises, but if you notice, Waste Management naming in there for raises, Department of Education naming in there for raises, these people are strategic and they think they're slick. You, the people of the Virgin Islands, would have riot if after they allow Bruce Smith to do what he do in the Department of Education in CAHS, they were given any kind of $10,000 or $7,000 raise. They know that. So they're going to include the Department of Education Commissioner for getting them kind of raises. And they know that Waste Management former director, Merritt, just had a sexual harassment lawsuit filed against him. Yeah, he's gone. But they know that that amount of settlement payment would not sit good with you, the people of the Virgin Islands, so they leave that out too. But I want you to be very careful, the people of the Virgin Islands. You see, once those proposed raises are given, the governor going to use executive action and just decide who going to get raises and slide it into them. All of a sudden, people that you didn't know raises, going to get raises, they know going to go down to personnel. And the raises going to go in without you, the people of the Virgin Islands. No, you're going to find out from it. You're going to find out about it after the fact. And you're going to complain some more. But it's going to be done. I think right now the governor, the president of the legislature, the head judge at the judiciary, and the commission, they might be very upset with themselves for even letting this information come out before the new legislature was sworn in. It's the same thing like when Dennis George sued JP Morgan. They had to be slapping themselves in the head for allowing such a lawsuit to go forward because they know they were going to get exposed. And right now, they're probably hitting themselves over the head because they exposed again. And they exposed themselves. Because they thought that once the deadline has passed and they announce it, people are going to say, well, the deadline passed and it's just another fast one. No, people ain't having them things no more. Well, not me for sure. I going to talk about it. And I'm going to try to educate the people of the Virgin Islands. So that even though you and I have made mistakes for generations and elected people who don't deserve it, because they have proven they don't deserve it. They're only about themselves and their friends and family and their corporations and consultants and contractors. While people going out of business left, right, and center in St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, guess who making big money? Their friends. If it wasn't for the feds, Charlemagne would have made big money with your wife and Richardson and nobody would have moved. Because the local attorney general hasn't filed any charges against them. They would have been making big money. People think deep. These people believe that they could take, and you have to shut up because you done do your duty, you voted. So now go back to sitting down and shutting up for 2 more years until you get a chance again so we could mama guy you, papi show you, tell you what you want to hear, and our solid voting Democrat bloc of seniors and elders and government workers and go along to get along gonna vote us right back in because they love the gravy train too, even though they only gain a little bit of gravy what left on the bottom of the plate. They want it bad. So I implore you, the employees of the government, voters, young, middle-aged, and our seniors, let us activate and become fully active and decide once in our life now that this is wrong. It is absolutely wrong to give the governor and the lieutenant governor over $40,000 in a salary increase, to give our senators over $10,000 or $10,000 in a salary increase, and to increase the salaries of commissioners while the employees of the government of the Virgin Islands balling for little extra money. To combat the high cost of living, the high food prices, high gas prices, high housing prices, high cost of sending the children to school, high cost of medical attention. My people of the Virgin Islands, you're being taxed to your grave. And the little money that you get after they done tax you so hard from your little paycheck. You got to count pennies, quarters, dimes, nickels. These people giving themselves $40,000, $15,000, $10,000 in raises. And the supervisor of elections getting 7,000 plus. And he got a lot of people who going to watch this and say, boy, Foy don't shut him out. He just hating. No. I ain't hating. I ain't hating at all. Because if I was governor of these Virgin Islands, with the amount of perks and privileges that I have or would be given, I would have keep the $150,000. I'd have work for that and keep some semblance of reasonableness in terms of what I as governor was worth, knowing fully well he still have government employees making under $30,000. Shame on you. While they can't even get a 5% increase, you took a $40,000 raise, you and the lieutenant governor. Maybe our intention is to do like MAP, and when it is all over, leave the Virgin Islands and live abroad. And this is not a knock on Governor MAP. It is just the reality, it's a fact. He doesn't live in the Virgin Islands anymore. Whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. It is a fact, he doesn't live in the Virgin Islands anymore. So if Governor Byrne decided to leave the Virgin Islands and start a new life in the United States of America, or maybe he going back to Nevis and try to settle down in Nevis and go to the baths every day. I don't know. Maybe he gonna want to go back to St. Vincent and start a marijuana farm, and before he leave office, get the senators them to change the law that allow him to import marijuana from St. Vincent. That's what they love to do. My people of the Virgin Islands, let me give you a walk down memory lane, and I'm going to tie it all up so you could see that they are lying to you. They know what was happening, all of them. Maybe not Alma Francis Heiliger, because they're afraid Alma Francis Heiliger, because she tells the people the truth. You remember when the taxi man them first start out and they say, hey, something wrong. These limousines coming on the airport and picking up passengers, that ain't right. He ain't the same legislature that passed bills and put laws in place that give the limousine service them full access to the point that they almost running the taxi associations out of business. Who benefiting from that? Do the research. Ain't the same senators in the legislature that pass laws as it pertains to gas stations have gas stations now? From former governors, from former senators to current sitting senators? Isn't it the same senators who pass laws, through bills, and signed by governors, who change the zoning so that they could build big businesses or homes that can now be transformed into rental units and Airbnbs? But yet they're going to tell you that they know nothing about the raises in the middle of the darkness, secreting it away from you, letting the deadline pass, and then now sending out letters and pontificating that they don't know and they're going to check. Legal counsel for the legislature must be smirking. Because what they want to put the poor legal counsel of the legislature in this for? When they done fully know full well what was going on. You think I joking? The executive, judiciary, and legislative branch know what was coming down when COVID hit. And lo and behold, just before, just as it started, and just after it started, LLCs pop up from the friends, the family, and the group to take full of advantage of millions of dollars from COVID. And of course, it was a state of emergency, so the governor had the right to sign no bid contracts among themselves. It took 6 years for the state of emergency to be lifted off of the Virgin Islands. State of emergency for COVID, state of emergency for WAPA, state of emergency for all kind of things. If you let government leaders take advantage of you during crisis and states of emergency, they're going to create crisis and state of emergencies to keep taking advantage of you. And all them senators know that the state of emergencies weren't warranted after COVID. Yet they let the same governor extend the state of emergency all the way down to November. And when they all done agree now that they no longer need the state of emergency because Governor Albert Byrne is in his last 2 years and he went home out of government, they lift the state of emergency. But look what happened on December 31st. They give themselves a massive raise. These leaders would have gone down in history if that $390-something thousand in raises was given across the board to the lowest government employees, to the rank and file, dump in a couple million for the retro payments, put in another 2 million for the retirees. A lot of voters would have said, listen, they're bad, you know, but at least for once they do something good. Because the governor of the Virgin Islands like to go on social media and tell you that he give you 15 million in tax returns. Like them tax returns is not yours, them is your right. He ain't doing you no favor. In fact, when tax return come out, there's a list of names in government of all the high people them and their friends and family that go out first. And some people sit forever not getting tax returns. Got to go to IRB to ask, well, what happened to my tax return for 2020? My tax return for 2019. Some people still ain't get tax checks. Don't mind them. People at the Virgin Islands, it is time for you to get fully active. And while a lot of people in the Virgin Islands have been misinformed and disinformed about the 47th president of the Virgin Islands, Donald Trump, the Republican Party, MAGA and Donald Trump, along with Elon Musk and a lot of donors, have given enough information on Twitter and other organizations that carry news to show that the Congress, the judiciary, Supreme Court, and the executive under Joe Biden was broken. The Democrat machine has been broken because of themselves. Their policies don't make sense anymore, and the actions of the leaders of this party that govern the USVA and the US have been shown to be corrupt. They have shown to be pay to play. My goodness, man. I never thought that I could have found something else in a negative about the government of the Virgin Islands and the governor, the judiciary, and the legislature. But you know why this one take the cake? Because my people of the Virgin Islands, I have to say it. It is us, you and me, who have caused this on ourselves. We are the voters. We are the checks and balances when it comes to election. Instead of holding the supervisor of elections to account for all the election interference, fraud, and whatever else, you know that occurred in 2024? We're allowing them to get away with it? No, that is not happening. Callister Foy is fully activated, and other people are fully activated. Barbara Larand is fully activated. Cleopatra Peter, Dr. Cleopatra Peter is fully activated. Karen Dickinson is fully activated. Oakland Benta is fully activated. The People's Choice is fully activated. Pajito and the Morning Show is fully activated. Senator Alma Francis Heiliger is fully activated. All we asking is that the seniors, that solid Democrat bloc that they always brag about, realize, my people, that they don't care about you. They are using you. And then they give themselves everything and give you nothing and leave you to feel the brunt of the pressure. Every single one of you who voted for all those senators to go back in, who voted for Albert Bryan and Tregenza Roach as governor, you have family members who are suffering just as you are suffering today. You have family members who are employees of the government of the Virgin Islands who you hear complain daily about the low pay, the moral in the jobs, the fact that sexual harassment and sexual misconduct is rampant throughout the government of the Virgin Islands. Every single one of you know, if you have family members who only getting by and getting certain jobs because you're connected, you know. You know that you and I are part of the problem. So, shouldn't we fully activate? Let us get fully active. And going forward, let the governor, the executive branch, the legislative branch, the judiciary know that we onto the game. And while they pretend to love the solid Democrat bloc, it's only the leaders of the bloc surviving and getting by. It's only the group on top of the bloc getting by. You know why? Because unfortunately, until we change, my people of the Virgin Islands, you and I, you get exactly what you elect. As I said, hard truth, but look in the mirror and think about any family member you got that's suffering underneath this regime. Any family member who can't get a raise in pay. Any family member who's sick and can't fly out and can't get treatment in the hospital. Any family member who have children who go into school, in class with moles, no AC. Any family member who, when they go to the store, they have to decide whether or not they're going to buy eggs and hot dogs alone, or if they're going to buy bread and maybe one pack of chicken drumettes. Look in the mirror and think about all of the family members you have who got to beg you for $20 to put gas in your car because they run out of money long before the next paycheck. Look in the mirror and watch yourself and think about all your family members' friends who go along to get along, hoping to get a trickling, the crumbs the little pennies and the dollar, while the people that they look up to, and they're killing themselves for every day, drive around in government vehicles and do what they want, when they want, how they want. And if you dare step out of line one time, they treat you like Donald Duck's cold daughter. That is what you must look in the mirror. And when you make peace with what you see in the mirror, make a pledge to change. And maybe in the next election, or even before, because civil disobedience is your right, lawful civil disobedience, if they don't stop these unwarranted raises.
Right now,
If they don't stop these unwarranted raises, I am telling you, my people of the Virgin Islands, it is sad, 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 sad. But we can do better. We must do better. And maybe, just maybe, next election or even before, we get exactly who we elect. Because by then, the supervisor of elections may no longer be the gatekeeper to the corruption that is in these Virgin Islands. And then the people who get selected will no longer reward across the board the very culprits and wrongdoers who ensured that you get exactly what you elected. This has been the College Tafoy Show. I am College Tafoy. This has been the Hot Seat. Good night.